To anyone looking for a tough-as-nails arcade-type shooter with a bit of platforming action, Robonauts may be the game for you. It combines genres by blending hordes of alien enemies with a terrain that needs a steady jump button finger if you're going to make it to the end. Is it right for you? Is it right for me? Let's find out, shall we?
Give me a bag of good and a blunt to twist, cause everyone too tough to be rocking like this. So come on, shake the load up, come on, shake loose.
To quickly summarize the plot, a small cleaning robot on a spaceship stumbles across a room filled with weaponized suits and shoots off to explore a distant planet. Once there, swarms of alien life forms bear down on you. It's worth noting that this, all explained in a quick cutscene when you first boot up the game, bears absolutely no resemblance whatsoever to the visuals offered by the gameplay. But more on the visuals in just a second. Robonauts makes use of the planet jumping mechanics we saw in the Super Mario Galaxy series. Although, whereas Mario was planet hopping in a full three-dimensional environment, in Robonauts you traverse each planet's circumference only and can only leave your planet's orbit if you are directly under an adjacent planet. More interesting level concepts include guiding a robot through a set path as it shuts down generators, while under heavy fire from enemies, and a level which is more of a labyrinth, where you need to spend less time worrying about enemy fire and more time looking at switches which turn off deadly laser beams and impede your progress. Both are good fun and offer a welcome relief from just blasting everything in sight. Going back to planet hopping, this is a feature which isn't used seamlessly as it can be maddening. Sometimes clusters of planets are just too close together, and when you hit the jump button, you can sail to a planet you didn't want to, and often end up right in the crossfire of a bullet storm. It's hard enough to dodge bullets as it is when there's so many enemies on screen. The game takes place across 12 levels, which may not seem like much, but the difficulty can really put you to the test and extend the life of the game. Each level sets you with a different goal spread across a number of planets. These can include destroying every enemy on the map before being allowed to progress, and destroying generators to lower shields from drilling machines. Things get complicated with the Metroid-esque spawning nests, which must be destroyed to stop enemies from coming back. Ammo is unlimited for your two base weapons, operating using the two shoulder buttons, but in-game accuracy leaves a lot to be desired, and due to the sheer number of enemies that come at you, there's not a lot of time for you to be able to line up your shots with a projectile. As a hark back to the arcade shooters of old, most who play Robonauts will find themselves tapping the trigger button repeatedly to fire, but simply holding the button down will do the trick. That's one to bear in mind for anyone like me who starts to get an achy finger after a prolonged period of playing this stinking game. You could argue it's too difficult, and that's fair. It's unforgiving for sure, and weapon range is just too short for the most part, but Nintendo needs these tough games for the hardcore fans. Along with single player, there's a local co-op mode, which of course makes the stress of all the enemies a little more manageable. And you can also play against another player locally with modes based around competing. An in-game achievements list gives a little longevity to the game, but just completing the 12 levels is satisfying enough. There's a lot to like here, folks. The graphics are nice, bright, crisp, and they are as good in handheld mode as they are while docked. And the soundtrack is an energizing 80s electro-funk, which is great. I personally like the appearance of the game. I think it's smooth, have not witnessed any frame rate dips or anything like that while in handheld mode or while docked. Overall, it's very pleasing. Under its 20-cent selling price. Yeah, that's right, it's currently being sold for 20 cents from the eShop. Robonauts is one that you should pick up. It's not bad on the eyes, it's fairly fun, and if you want a hard-hitting, swear-inducing arcade shooter, you'll be doing yourself a favor by checking out Robonauts.